Hey y'all, it's Alyssa, aka Bangs and Glasses. I'm back with my January layout share, and I'm also gonna give you all an update on how I've been doing with my goals that I've set for this year. If you haven't seen my scrappy goals for this year, go ahead and find that video down below. But I'll be giving you all an update on my progress this month, which I'm excited to say went really well. So let's start with my first layout here. So this layout is kind of one of those sad layouts. So this is documenting when I tested positive for COVID for the first time. This was in 2022. And this layout was using the Simple Stories Quarantined um, kit, and I am really happy to share that I've totally killed off this kit. I don't have any papers left. I only have a couple embellishments. It is like totally dead. So I've already achieved one of my first goals for this year, which was to kill off a kit, which I feel like this is kind of a cheater because it was just a smaller kit, so it only had a couple papers in there and the sticker sheet, but I'm still proud of myself for killing it off. So yes, so this layout is just titled Uh-oh, and yeah, I just used up some of the last papers I had in there. I wanted to use up a lot of the COVID themed things because, you know, that's not something I would use again on a non-COVID layout. Yeah, so I just used some of the cut aparts I had left over. I had this band of paper left, and this is the only 12 by 12 sheet I had left. Yeah, and I did do some journaling here that's a little more private, so I did cover that up. Next, I have this layout, which I had even forgotten that I did that this month. So this one is just titled Good Life, and it's using the Pink Paisley Pick Me Up collection and some of the Whimsical collection. So this was a layout that I scrap lifted from Rebecca Lockhart. I saw she did this layout with a bunch of just punched out circles, and I thought this was a great way to use up a lot of that 6x6 paper pad, because for the Pick Me Up collection I just have the 6x6 paper pad in a couple embellishments, and I'm definitely trying to kill that off. And then I was also able to get a shaker on here, which was one of my goals for the month, was to use at least one shaker. So I got one shaker on here with one of the frames that was in that collection. This is just a little work selfie, so it's not really anything that exciting. In 2020, there was not a lot going on, and I took a lot of selfies of myself just like at home working, because that's mostly what I did that year. So I was excited to get some more paper used up here and using up some of these final embellishments that I have on that chipboard sheet. All right, next, this one is titled A Grown-Up Fairy Tale, and this one is using the Crepe Paper Moonlight Magic collection, and this was my first time playing with that collection since I've got it. And this is a scrap lift from She's Crafty, or Shannon Hour. So I just wanted to kind of use a lot of the fairy themed things because I'm documenting reading this book that was about fairies, but you know, a grown-up fairy story. This was documenting me reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I documented my thoughts on the book there. If you can read it, it says that I did not really like the book. I hated to say, I know it's really popular, but I read most of it and I just like couldn't even finish it. I did not like her writing style for some reason. But that's okay. I still wanted to document that I read that book. I wanted to use a lot of the pretty flowers in this collection. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and use just my most favorite papers from this collection on here. I love this rainbow stripe paper and this realistic floral paper. I also used some washi on here, which is one of my goals for the month, to use washi at least once. So I got that done in this page as well. All right, so next we start getting into some layouts I've done from our trip to Colorado. I think, you know, just focusing on one trip and using up kind of one collection, it helped me get layouts done a lot faster instead of just totally shifting gears to totally different layouts with totally different collection. So this was one of the first layouts I made documenting that trip. And these layouts that you see, they're not in order of how they're going to be ordered in the album. They're just in the order that I decided to scrapbook them. So this one is just called Sightseeing Denver, and this is using the Simple Stories Let's Go collection. I use that a lot for documenting this trip, and I'm probably going to share pretty soon that I have totally killed off that kit. I do not have any more 12 by 12 papers that were in that kit, which a lot of people would consider killed off. For me, I think I'm going to consider something killed off when I don't have any more paper, because when I have just paper scraps, I'm still going to keep them all together in that collection until I don't have any more of the paper anymore, and then I'll, use the embellishments somewhere else and move them along in my stash. So as long as I keep, it separated, I'm going to say that collection is not killed off yet. All that to say, this was one of my first layouts using that collection. I loved this map paper here, and we were, exploring the city, so I thought this map worked well with that. This was using a sketch from somewhere that I don't remember. It had like a bunch of photos on this side, and then this was kind of more photos. I use that as a journaling spot. I also got one of the postcards I picked up on this layout. And for this layout, we were, exploring downtown Denver. We went to this really cool antique store. I loved this photo. They had this whole like mid-century modern setup here, and I was like, ooh, that is like my dream living room. So I got a photo on that sofa. And I used one of the stickers that I picked up on that trip as well on this page, which this is like a vinyl sticker you would put on like a water bottle, but I use those stickers for my scrapbooking. So happy to get this one scrapped and use up 4 photos on one layout. Next, this is a very photo heavy layout, again from that same trip. So this one is just titled Mountain Road Trip, and this is using a bit of Vicki Boutin. I think it's Honey and Spice, correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of her like first collections, and I don't know what it's titled. It doesn't say the title on there, but I think I've heard it's Honey and Spice. So this paper in the background, I wanted to make like a little road and then just have like all the photos from us exploring the mountains. So I used some mixed media here in the background, which was one of my things for the month. I wanted to use mixed media at least once. And then some of the embellishments are from Simple Stories Let's Go, and some are from a Hobby Lobby sticker pack. Some of these are Sticko stickers I got from like Walmart or something. And then this was a sketch that I took from Pinterest, and it was from Hey Little Magpie. So she had this like road and then a bunch of photos kind of going down the road in a way. Yeah, so I was able to get a lot of photos on this layout, use up a lot of stash that doesn't really go with anything, so that makes me excited. Yeah, and I am excited to kind of break it up by using some smaller photos, like the 3x2 photos, which I don't do very often because it takes longer to go and print the photos on my little Canon selfie in that size, and I don't have a lot of time these days, so I usually just go with the 4x6 that I already have printed. But for this, I wanted to just put all of this on one page, so I did go ahead and make those photos smaller. And this was my first time seeing mountains. It was very exciting. So this is something I'm gonna document, kind of reflecting on this whole trip. I was altitude sick the entire trip, so for these photos, it's like I'm smiling and I look happy, but I feel miserable the whole time. I'm still very glad that we went and I got to see mountains and it looked really pretty. But I did not feel very well during this trip, so that's something I'm going to document kind of in closing in a layout that I still need to do. So yes, that is another Colorado layout. This is another Colorado layout as well, bringing in some more color, and this one you can really tell it's using the Simple Stories Let's Go collection. And this one is just titled Good Times. So this is using a sketch from Pinterest, and it was by Brianna Lepper for the Simple Stories blog. And then these photos are just documenting us going out to eat. We got brunch at a restaurant before we went exploring. I used up a lot of ephemera and stickers on this page, which makes me so happy. Using up a lot of the florals too. I loved those, and I love the little coffee cups that were in this collection. Even adding in the details of this, like, we are closed, we are open signs like you would see in our diner. That was so perfect for this layout. Some other things to note: I did get some Maggie Holmes open book project life cards on here. I use those a lot to kind of stretch my collection for the Let's Go collection, because I just had, that collection kit. I didn't have extra papers, so I didn't want to cut into some papers that I needed to use for like backgrounds and things like that. So yeah, I just love the colors of this. I love the little rainbow stripe, and just getting to use a lot of stickers and ephemera. I think it turned out really cute. Next, this is another layout I'm really proud of. So this one is just titled Explore. And again, this is Simple Stories Let's Go collection. And this is a scrap lift I took from Pinterest. I did not go back and look up who made the sketch. I'm so sorry. But in that Pinterest layout, they had all the tags, because if you know the Simple Stories collections, a lot of them have tags now. And sometimes that's tricky to use. How am I going to use all these tags? And they had all the tags just in rows like this, and some at the bottom, and I thought that was such a cool way to use up those tags. And they had a paper at the top that was kind of like folded over like this, so I really just took inspiration from that and used that for this layout. So this layout, we are in a little mountain town. We had gone up all the mountains and it was snowing. It had gotten kind of difficult to see, so we pulled off and we ended up in this little mountain town at this little cafe to eat lunch. That was like a cafe slash a ski shop, so there was like ski gear there as well. And it was a really nice lunch, and I got a cute photo of my husband. So I just kind of documented that and used up a lot of the food themed icons from this collection. And I don't think I mentioned this, but that Colorado trip was an anniversary trip for us. So it was celebrating our four-year wedding anniversary. So I document that a little bit later on. But yeah, it was a really good time. I loved the food. It was so good. Yeah, and I was just really happy with how this turned out as well. Okay, so this next layout, I was able to kill off this sticker sheet of Colorado stickers from Hobby Lobby. So this is one of the first layouts for this trip, basically. And this one is just titled Colorado Getaway. So this is when we, reach that little tourist thing where they have all the brochures and stuff when you first cross the state lines. So I used one of the stickers I got from there as well. And this one was a scrap lift from Erica Rose Creates, where she had a bunch of circles. I have a circle paper back here from Vicki Booten that you can't even really see, but we do have a big circle here. And then I wasn't able to cut my photos into circles, but I still tried to use a lot of, circle elements. And this is using mostly Vicki Booten, some Fernwood paper, and Honey and Spice. We've got those Hobby Lobby stickers, which are just, Colorado specific. So I wanted to use those up, and I got a little more mixed media on here as well. So yeah, happy to use up that sticker sheet. Oh, I think I have two on here. Yes, there we go. Okay, so again, using that Let's Go collection. This is titled Let's Go to the Bookstore, and this was us exploring one of the bookstores in Denver, which was really fun. It was in an old theater, like an old amphitheater, and it was really cool. So I wanted to use some book themed elements on here and just kind of highlight this background paper, which is one of my favorite papers from that collection. So this was a sketch from somewhere, but I don't remember from where it had just like a couple different bands of things. So I took that band design and I just did it at the top and the bottom, and then did my photo in the middle with a bunch of journaling cards around it. And these are Maggie Holmes open book journaling cards. And let's see. Oh, the little wood veneer book stickers, that is from Shadney. And I think I even had a couple little stickers from Maggie Holmes Gather in here just with the little birds. Yeah, so really like how that came out as well. This next one took me a long time, and I'm not super happy with how it came out, but oh well, it is what it is. This one is just titled Vacation Snacks, and this is documenting us going out to eat at this restaurant. It's just kind of like burgers and hot dogs and stuff, but inside it was decorated very like 50s theme, so I even took a photo of the wallpaper, and I wanted to kind of recreate that in this design with the diamonds. So I hand cut these papers into like these little diamond shapes, which did not end up looking very straight or symmetrical, but it's okay. And this again is just using that Simple Stories Let's Go collection. And this is a sketch from Scrapbook sketch where they had a bunch of diamonds on their page. I did use some mixed media here in the background, so you do get a little sheen of gold behind those diamonds. Yeah, and I wanted to use the little sodas on here because we did have soda and more of the little food themed things. You can see here I was starting to kind of run out of ephemera and stickers from that collection, so there's not as much on the page as some of the earlier pages. All right, so taking a departure from the Colorado trip, I finally got this layout done, which looks pretty simple, but I had fussy cut out all these flowers, and I started fussy cutting these flowers out maybe like a year or two ago, and then it's just been sitting on my little shelf as like, oh, I need to finish that and finish fussy cutting those flowers so I can get this page done, and I finally did. So I'm glad that this is finally done and complete, even though it's a little simple. It just took me a long time to get around to cutting out all these flowers. This one is just titled Work Hard and Dream Hard, and this is using Echo Park Day in the Life for this journaling card and these flowers. I don't remember where this paper is from. I did cut it out of the sheet, and then this background paper is a Bella Boulevard Besties, which I love this paper. It's cut in half because I wanted to save it. I just loved the teal. And again, this is just a working from home selfie from 2020. Next, going back to our Colorado trip. So this is just titled On Our Way. Our destination is Colorado, and we of course stopped in Kansas, driving to Colorado. So we had some photos there of just, you know, the tourist stop of us with the Kansas signs. I definitely wanted to use some yellow on this page because Kansas makes me think of yellow with the sunflowers and everything like that. So this of course is using Simple Stories Let's Go collection. I did use a little bit of Hobby Lobby stickers that I just got recently. I did want to kind of bring in a little green because of, you know, the witch in the green in this photo. Yeah, and this was a sketch that was inspired from somewhere, but I did not write it down. But I think in the sketch it went all the way down. And for mine, this paper on the back, it has that large floral in the corner, and I wanted to save that, so I cut that out before ripping this paper. All right. Next, this is still kind of from the Colorado trip. This is us on our way back. We stopped to eat at a restaurant, and this was the day of our actual anniversary, so I wanted to document that. So it's just titled 4 Years, and this is using the Vicky Boutin Honey and Spice collection. This paper does most of the work for you with the large florals on here, so I just kind of let that dictate the layout of the page. I did get a Simple Stories Let's Go journaling card on here, which I thought worked because it's a guest check and we were out to eat. I have some Fernwood chipboard on here, and yeah, that's about it. It's a very simple layout, just the photo and a little bit of ephemera. Okay, so this layout is us exploring the mountains again. You can see that big mountain in the background, and this one is just titled Adventure. So this is using a mix of the Vicky Boutin Honey and Spice and Fernwood and the Simple Stories Let's Go. I wanted to use a bunch of big triangles on here to kind of replicate mountains. And this is a sketch I saw somewhere, but I couldn't remember where they did a bunch of big triangles, but they were turned the other way. So that inspired this layout. I also used a bunch of Hobby Lobby stickers on here, as well as a Denver sticker that I picked up in Denver. But I wanted to use this big orange triangle for sure to bring out the orange in my husband's shirt. And I just really like how this ended up turning out with all the mix of colors and patterns and how it kind of imitates the mountains. And then this is my last layout for the month of January. This is one of the last photos from that trip. So this is just titled Wanderlust, and this is using some Vicky Bouton Honey and Spice and Fernwood, and some 49 and Market chipboard, which I got for free. I think is like a Black Friday thing from Scrapbook.com or Cherry on Top. I think it was a Cherry on Top. So it's 49 and Market 49th and Market Hike More collection, which I thought was perfect for this kind of travel themed layout. I even made a shaker with one of the frames, so I got 2 shakers done this month, which is exciting to use up some of my sequins. And I fussy cut out all these butterflies from a Vicky Bouton paper to kind of bring your eye across the page. This photo is just the only photo I took when we were exploring Colorado Springs. So on our way down the mountain, we stopped in this town on our way back, and we were just kind of exploring all the cute little shops and stuff. So I took this picture while we were doing that. Yeah, and that is the last layout I have for you all. I do have one more layout to do for my Colorado trip, and then I'm done. I'm excited in February to maybe get into some Valentine's Day layouts or some more romantic themed layouts. I'm excited that I met all my goals this month. I got that shaker, mixed media, and washi. I also did at least one video in January. I actually did one video every week in January, which is more of my stretch goal. So yeah, things are on track for me for this year, and I'm excited to get 15 more layouts done and into some albums. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all again in the next crafty video. Bye!